Hello and welcome back to another in-depth weather video. Today we're going to be discussing Tropical Depression 15. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell. Now let's go in depth. So Tropical Depression 15 has formed in the Atlantic. It has maximum sustained winds of 35 miles an hour, minimum central pressure of 1,009 millibars, and it is moving 12 miles an hour toward the northeast. So let's move on here to the warnings and cone, and then we'll move on to the arrival time of winds and with wind speed probabilities. So we can see that this is expected to become a tropical storm. This would be Tropical Storm Nana, and it would move pretty much generally east-northeast, and then kind of do this little level out and then pick back up to where it was. It will become post-tropical cyclone within the next 5 days, probably on Saturday sometime, but we could see this form in the next 24 to 48 hours as a tropical storm, and we'll go over more specifics when we get to the current storm information. Now let's move on. Arrival time of winds with wind speed probabilities. So you can see the highest probabilities are between Tuesday at 2 a.m. and Tuesday at 2 p.m. with a 50 to 60% chance of receiving tropical storm force winds. So you can see that the very eastern portions of the Outer Banks could see a 5 to 10% chance of receiving some tropical storm force winds in the next few hours, within the next probably 6 hours. But other than that, very little land interaction. I mean, possible impacts of Bermuda, the very east coast of the U.S., and then at that point it would probably become extra tropical out here. So I don't think that Newfoundland and Labrador will be impacted. So let's move on here to the satellite imagery. You can see this is a small little storm, and it does have some decent thunderstorm activity, and you can see some little cloud cover just to the east of it, but this is the main tropical activity right here. So let's move on. Current storm information. So Tropical Depression 15. Let's go to the global and hurricane models. So this is expected to generally go this direction here. Now, one is showing it possibly making landfall in North Carolina. Definitely not out of the question. It just depends on where high pressure is set up. And then once you get past 72 hours is going to be the big check mark for this storm. Because I think after 72 hours, this will be set on its path. It'll either go a little bit further south, or it'll go further north toward down East Canada or the Maritimes. So we could definitely use 72 hours as a good check mark, good checkpoint that of where it could go. So let's move on to the GFS ensembles. Generally, this is showing this kind of turn to the east. None of them showing much pressure drop, but we could see a little bit. But the Canadian is showing about the same thing. So the Canadian's usually a little bit more widespread with some of these models, but with this storm, it's pretty consistent. So let's move on. Intensity guidance. So this is expected for a majority of these models to become a tropical storm in the next 12 to 36 hours. Now, 72 hours is another big point, because I think at that point it's either weakening or it'll stay a tropical storm for a little bit longer. But once you get past 60 to 72 hours, the probabilities that this stays a tropical storm go down a lot. Most of these models are showing it becoming a tropical storm for a quick stint and then dropping back below that threshold. So we definitely have to watch this storm, for that could just become a post-tropical cyclone or just a depression really quickly. So let's move on to the models. So we're just going to use the GFS. I was going to use the NAM, but we're just going to use the GFS. So GFS is showing this kind of moving there, then it kind of forms out here that with that energy, and then it becomes post-tropical, dissolves, and then it moves north. So actually, let's use the NAM 3 kilometer model here just to get a little bit of a more defined perspective as it moves past North Carolina, forms a little bit more, and you can see pressure dropping just a bit, and then those isobars are getting a little bit closer. That means that the wind speeds are picking up. So that is about it. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.